know that researchers have found that sustained learning in the arts correlates strongly with higher achievement in both math and reading? Of course, correlation doesn't necessarily imply causation, but the link does make rational sense. Hello, I'm Angelique Molinaro, and I'm here to discuss how learning to create and appreciate art is more important than ever to the development of the next generation of children. The Arts Education Partnership performed a meta-analysis of 62 studies that revealed that students who study music have increased achievement and proficiency in math. Reading and cognitive development were found to increase, as were verbal SAT scores. Students enjoy taking a class that allows them to learn a new subject but has no intense stress of failure. The doom that stalks the shadows in a math classroom does not exist in a whimsical wood workshop. The terror of the towering periodic table in chemistry finds no footing in the luminous, lighthearted hills painted in a wistful watercolor class. Besides providing a stress-free and creative space for students, art classes also help them improve their own character traits and work ethic. Students that take a combination of arts programs demonstrate improved verbal, reading, and math skills, and they also show a greater capacity for higher-order thinking skills, such as analyzing and problem solving. Art and education can reach students not normally reached in ways and methods not normally used. This can lead to better student attendance and lower dropout rates. Looking at education as a whole, most schooling from a young age is designed around a memorization and reiteration. Educators are quick to speak about the importance of critical thinking, yet their curriculum serves to inspire only mundane memorization. Art is a boundless basin brimming with wild and wacky ideas. It is where imagination and memorization combine to forge the new from the simmering ashes of the known. Art is the place where creative thinking finds its genesis and is fostered into adulthood. Even with all the positive effects that art brings to students, there are multiple issues that make it very difficult for art to get to all children. The three biggest opposing views against the importance of art in schools is government funding, ever-changing school curriculum, and individual school budget cuts. In this modern day of budget slashing and endless innovating art programs are constantly in danger of being cut, even though they're proven to improve academics. These deep budget cuts and the decade-long focus on reading and math have clearly taken their toll on the availability of arts instructions. It withers beneath bothersome buzzwords like practical and fiscal and essential, but those who speak this nonsense are ignorant of the buoyant effects of the arts. With multiple studies showing that curricular and extracurricular art studies and activities help keep high-risk dropout students to stay in school, there is more positive than negative in keeping the arts in education. A solution to these opposing positions is to continue required art classes in schooling. All 50 states have academic content standards for at least one discipline within the arts. Looking at a global picture, the arts and music education programs are mandatory in countries like Japan, Hungary, and the Netherlands. These countries rank consistently among the highest for math and science test scores. The arts have suffered because they are perceived to be nothing more than an extracurricular activity, despite the enormous evidence to the contrary. But fortunately, this trend is slowly reversing and school districts are developing thriving arts programs. And in the short term, students demonstrate growth in the realms of academic achievement and behavior. And in the long term, children develop critical skills that improve their lifelong ability to read, write, and communicate effectively. But in order to keep these programs alive and growing, there are steps we must take. You can ask your members of Congress to keep the arts listed as a core subject. You can also talk to your school leaders, like testifying at a school board meeting and having meetings with superintendents and principals. Another great call of action that would be fulfilling for adults is to volunteer your time. This is always needed. Many schools would appreciate your time as a chaperone or your donations of money, costumes, or rehearsal space. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this important issue in our educational system.